Yabu Bangura Spanks. I came to Canada in 1979 from Seirra Leone. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make jollof rice. This dish was brought to West Africa by the freed slaves in the 1800s. The slaves that were taken from Africa, West Africa mainly. So when they brought them back, after the abolition of slavery, they brought them back to West Africa. Yeah, so they brought this dish with them because it's a little bit of a mixture of, as you can see, like Western cuisine and African cuisine. Yeah. And you'll find a variation of this dish throughout West Africa. First of all, I marinated the chicken in a little bit of chicken broth, and then I'm steaming it now. And then once it's finished steaming, I will set the chicken aside right now. Take all of the broth that comes with it, and then I will put about half a cup of oil. Any oil you prefer, it doesn't have to be, I like corn oil. Okay, then I would heat it on medium heat. And now I chopped up some onions, and I'm going to put my onions in my blender. And I will blend my onions. I'm blending it because some people don't like chunks of onions. Oh well, when you're blending your onion, make sure you have a better blender than I have. Because this is not doing the work for me. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to see if it will blend a little bit. Okay, so now I've chopped my onions. My next step is I'll put it in the oil. Let it simmer. Yeah, next I'm going to cut my peppers. You can use half of the different colors, or you can use one medium red pepper, bell pepper, medium red bell pepper. Yeah, I'm just chopping it now, put it in my blender. And then I will chop my tomatoes, two red tomatoes, put them in my blender, mix them with the peppers. Okay. All right. So we're going to blend them or chop them. Okay. And just making sure the onions are cooking well, like brown. Just cook the onions till they're a little bit tender. Okay, now I'm going to take this mixture. Now I'm mixing my my tomato and pepper mixture in with the onions, and then I'll stir that really well. And make sure while you're doing it, all is on medium heat. You don't want it too hot. And what I will normally do, this is the time I would add my spices. You can use any spice that you like. Okay, you can add, I use chicken spice, a little bit of it. Just be careful because a lot of these spices have lots of salt, so make sure you just add a little bit while you're doing it, and then I'll use a little bit of this broth, chicken broth as well, and I'll mix it with it. Okay, now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and this just gives it the color. And then I will mix it really well with my sauce. Okay, and I will add my mixed vegetables. You can use any vegetables that you prefer. Yeah, simmer, continue stirring. Yeah, so we simmer this. Let's cover it for a little bit. Let it simmer. The next thing we do, I'm going to use 2 cups of rice, dry rice, but we're going to prepare it. So first of all, I'm going to wash my rice. Any rice you prefer. Like for me, I'm using basmati rice because that's the one I like. Preferably, you need white rice because that's what cooks a little bit better with that. So I'll wash my rice, okay, and drain in all the water. Usually, the rice calls for 1 cup of rice and 1 cup of water, but I'm going to use half of the recommended water for the rice. The reason being, I have to add, because I'm going to mix everything in, and the stuff has some water in it. And remember, if you find out that your rice is still hard after you cooked it, you can always add some water, but it's better to undercook your rice than overcook it because you can't do very much about it. So I'm checking the stuff again here. It's not boiling. I'm putting it on a little bit high so it can boil. But we're gonna wait till the sauce cook until you start seeing the oil float on top. So once the oil is floating on top, you know you're ready to do your mixture. Some people will put it in the oven, they'll bake it, but for me, I just like cooking it on top of the stove. And you can always add your spices. Like if, say for some reason you try and you feel like it's not, like the chicken bouillon is not doesn't come to your taste or whatever, I'm not even sure how to say it. Yeah, add your season to taste. So if, like I just tried this one, and it doesn't look like it's tasting the way I want it, so I'll put a little bit more. And you can also add some of your chicken broth to your rice. A little bit of it. Yeah, so it's starting to get there. Okay, so now I am going to chop my garlic because with garlic, the less you cook your garlic, the more garlic you get. So I'll chop my garlic. You can crush it if you want, but I like chopped garlic, so. Now I'm going to add the chicken that I have set aside. Okay. So I'm going to add my chicken that I've set aside. I don't know. The oil is still not. And I can add my garlic now. Thank you. This is where my sister would have come in handy. Now I'm going to add the garlic into the sauce. Okay. And I'll stir it. We just wait for the rice to boil now. I just added about 2 tablespoons of oil. Would that be? Yeah. To the rice. And I stir it in. And now the next step, I'm going to try and remove as much of the chicken out again, because you don't want it to crumble while you're cooking it with the rice. Try to remove it as much as you can. With the, Now, my next step, I am going to add this sauce to the rice. And mix it. Yeah, add the sauce to the rice. Try to get all of it out. I'm mixing it really well. So, and I'll cook it on low. Just have to make sure I have enough. I have to make sure I have enough water there. Doesn't look like we have enough water, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. Another half a cup. And we just let it cook on low until most of the water is absorbed. And then we will add our chicken. Now I'm going to add the chicken that I've set aside. Just about any African party you go to, you'll see this rice there. We use a lot of Maggi sauce because of the British influence, but you can use soy sauce, whichever you prefer. So I'm just going to put, here again, you have to be very careful because it's very salty. I'm just going to put 1 tablespoon. And I will mix it with my rice. Mix it really good. Make sure there's no pockets of it. Yeah. Mix it really good. Yeah. Then you can I'm going to add another tablespoon because I can barely taste it. Maybe okay, I think we got it. Yeah. Well, I think we're, let me see. This rice should be ready for chow chow, I think. Okay, let's try it. ready to be served.